Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Lorraine Driscoll, founder of Building Better Brains, and I wanted to touch on today what you should do after you get a psychoed evaluation. So I get asked this all the time when I'm on calls with parents is whether they're asking me, should I get a psychoed evaluation and so forth. And my response is always, I can't tell you what to do. You know what's best, and there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Which I'm going to touch on briefly today, but I've outlined in more depth in the past. But so if you're in a spot where you're, trying to weigh the pros and cons, maybe your insurance doesn't cover it, maybe it doesn't make your premiums go up. There's always that right there in terms of the expense because they are expensive. And parents sometimes are thinking, sometimes if they get that psychoed evaluation, that it's going to be the magic thing. They have so much hope that, they're going to have the answers to what's going on, as well as like answers in terms of solutions of what they should do and so forth. And there's also the issue, sometimes I see this where parents like, well, we have a psychoed evaluation planned or booked, but we can't get in for 6 more months. And I've even talked to parents that can't get in for like a year and a half. And that's a lot of lost time before you get the answers. And what people are not aware of is it's not going to have all the answers. Nothing is going to have all of the answers that quickly. So it really is what you do after. And the first thing I'm going to say in terms of what you do after is that you don't just stop there, that you go further. So psychoed evaluations start giving you a glimpse at what's going on, but they do not provide you with all the answers. And there are benefits and I don't want to say disadvantages, but limitations to what you're going to get and so forth. So in terms of benefits, you're definitely going to get a confirmation of probably what you've been suspecting all along. Nine times out of 10, parents will tell me, moms will say, I've known for the last 5 years. I knew it was dyslexia. I didn't need a psychoed evaluation to tell me that. Sometimes it can be a little bit upsetting and shocking because you find out there's more going on than you thought. And it can really just be a confirmation, that you're not crazy whenever you're sometimes arguing with whether it's the school or other family members or something, that something is going on here. So you're going to get that confirmation, and you're also going to get recommendations in terms of what you can do to support your child at school and at home. What you need to be aware of after you get this evaluation is that, number one, identifying the problem, getting that diagnosis and identifying the problem in terms of the breakdown is not the same as, identifying the root cause and the weaknesses of and imbalances and what those causes are, what's contributing to that. And the second thing is to just understand that these recommendations are meant to support the child. They don't, because they don't address the root cause, they are not going to help your child overcome that breakdown through neuroplasticity and the science of how the brain can change and so forth. And a lot of the recommendations are like things like IEPs, tutoring, remedial reading programs, medication, stuff like that, right? It could even be like behavior strategies or even a behavior plan, parenting classes, all of that type of stuff. But it's really important to understand that there are limitations. It's not that psychoed evaluations are bad, they serve a purpose. But, and then the other thing is that with these recommendations, you have to understand the schools and tutors and so forth are not trained to address the root cause, right? Tutors are trained in they're experts in their area that they tutor in, whether it's math or reading or whatever, but they're not trained in terms of brain science of weaknesses and balance and so forth. So that's where I really want to reiterate today is to keep digging deeper. And the biggest secret that I'm going to give you that it took me, basically the two biggest secrets to this that took me years of sleepless nights, being up super late, digging, and this will save you having to piece this together, is number one, start asking why for everything. Okay, so maybe you dig a bit deeper and find out your child has poor auditory processing disorder. Why? Maybe you find out, okay, well, they have a weak left brain hemisphere. Why? Keep digging so that even when you think you have found the root cause, you can go further, and then there's even a deeper root cause to that. So, number one, ask why. Number two, understand that these top down approaches, like the IEPs, tutoring, and really reading, all that stuff I talk about all the time, are fine. They're not bad. They're there to get your kid across the line. They're there to make life manageable. It's when we adopt them as a permanent solution that becomes a problem. And that's where you want to, as you have these kind of top down surface level solutions, you want to keep digging to address the root cause. And that's where you do bottom up approaches. So bottom up approaches are everything from nutritional deficiencies, gut health, food sensitivities, toxicity, weak connections in the brain, brain hemisphere imbalance, cerebellum underdevelopment, all of that type of stuff. So the number one thing I can say is, after the psych evaluation, you really need to understand that the brain can change, and focus your digging and your research and your resources and your screenings and your solutions towards approaches that understand the brain can change and work towards shifting it. It's not about changing your kid, it's about changing their struggle so that they don't have to spend their childhood struggling with these things that other kids are not struggling with, and they can soar in the areas of geniuses that they have because they are uniquely wired. So, number one, you need to know what areas are weak and imbalanced. And basically, the path to corrective solutions is finding out what areas are weak and imbalanced in the first place. So, I'm having connectivity issues, so hopefully this holds out. Basically, you know what? Long and short of it, grab my advanced brain screening if you haven't already. I'll put that in the comments and link below, and it's also in my bio and so forth. Grab that, and if you're interested in knowing more about my 6-month program, we dig deep into all of this: the screening, the implementation of root cause approaches that are corrective. Then grab my advanced brain screening, and or book a free clarity call, and we can chat some more. So have a great day, everyone, and take care.